Attention! Please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Yeah. It's kind of like in Jurassic Park, they never learn. It's like, oh, let's play with dinosaurs. Ah, dang, that didn't work.
Oh, let's fuck with John Wick.
Again. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve, and where all levels of nerd are welcome, even if you are excommunicado. That's okay.
Oh,
That's okay.
That's
You're
a good
welcome
one.
here too.
Yeah,
that was a good
you
one.
are
Still
welcome.
very
You're
welcome.
here to the Continental.
Yes.
The Continental.
The Continental. Today we talk about the Baba Yaga's third chapter in the John Wick story. Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga. The film that finally dethroned Endgame. We are talking about John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Parabellum, baby.
Prepare for war.
This is Pac and Parabellum.
John Wick.
First time I heard that was in the Punisher movie.
Oh,
That makes sense.
So,
let's get into this. I'm Josh.
I'm Caitlin.
Ali?
my name's Tom, and we're joined on the Source Connect with...
Corey.
Yeah.
There he is, somewhere
we
in
were
the ether.
We are recording via the interwebs.
Wow.
Whoa.
You know it. The
Corey.
future is now. The future is now.
Yes. Corey is visiting family up north, and he is coming to us from the interwebs. Anyway, so
You know it.
This episode.
is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. If you are new to Patreon, Patreon is essentially a membership service in which you can support your favorite creators, say like Nerd On. For as little as $1 to $5, you can get things like Discord server access that you can talk to us, other fans. You can have bonus episodes, early access, all sorts of fun stuff. But check it out. nerdon.io/Patreon.
Join the Nerd On Nation today.
The Nerd On
Do it.
Nation.
Heck yeah.
And that would bring us to our first segment of the show.
Mhm.
Since this is a finished film, it's
Mhm.
all complete. It's not going to be complete in the series, but that means we get to rate it at the end, and that allows us to
Guess that grump.
Everyone is gonna die if you try to kill
It's a
John
chef's
Wick.
table song or something.
Wow. The way that you
Well-
introed that, really, that means we're going to guess who is going to be.
So
You set us up. You set us up for success there.
it is. So if you're new to the show, at the episode, like I said, we're going to rate John Wick on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. And whoever's rating is the lowest in the group, it will be the grump of the week.
Technically, 0 is the lowest. But go on.
Yeah.
Well, Ollie, maybe I don't hate movies. And everyone at home,
somebody.
play
I give him a
along.
5 because he's a cutie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Send along what you thought of the film, 1 through 5, and who you thought would have been the grump of this week. Slip inside in our DMs or our Facebook or wherever it is to let us know. Play along, please. Since I never explained, but today I did, or something like that, I'm going to guess that the grump will be. You know what? I'm going to go with Corey.
Oh, okay. So that's one for me.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going to go Caitlin.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I'm going to guess Corey also.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Corey.
Interesting.
Spider.
I am going to guess. I'm going to guess Caitlin.
Ooh.
All right.
okay.
All right.
I feel like we've never talked John Wick,
We
Well,
have not.
No.
like even in casual
Well,
company.
Oh, you mean like when we're being friends
kind of-
outside the show?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Yeah.
we just like ate lunch
Friends
together
outside
and
the
didn't
show, you're
talk
right.
about John Wick at all.
But-
like, it just didn't come up.
we
No.
will if we get Corey's guess.
That's true.
I'm going to say Caitlin.
3 on Caitlin.
Wow.
2
Wow.
on Corey.
Oh.
None on Tom, Ollie, and Josh. That means Ollie will go first, then Josh, then Tom. 'Cause Josh
Alphabetical.
makes it go alphabetical.
That makes sense.
So now for the complete spoiler of that part, we're going to do our initial reactions, aka first impressions if you're across the pond. Yeah, Corey, what'd you think?
Ooh, I get to start even though I'm not there. Aw. I love John Wick. First of all, let me just start off with saying when the first one came out, it blew my friggin' mind. I think these are insanely creative. I love that they're made by stuntman with stuntmen. So like it's basically their dream to make these movies, and I think it shows in all the choreography. I was very pumped going into this one. I loved the last one. There was a lot of cool. I liked the different scenery changes. I liked a lot of the characters introduced, or old characters, different sides of them that we got to see that we didn't get to see before, aka the concierge, which shout out. But all in all, I left pretty excited.
Cool.
Tom?
Okay, me. So yeah, same vein as Corey. I like the John Wick series. I grew up on brainless action films with Stallone and Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Van Damme,
Hell yeah.
all the people. But the great thing I love about
Who
John
else?
Wick in the series is it's very tonally itself. You know, it doesn't try to be something else. And if anything, it very much leans into the lore that it has. And it feels like, I forget the analogy I made, but it's like kind of like a sci-fi movie franchise when it feels that way, where it's like
Yeah.
there's this really cool underbelly society that, you know, the John Wick stories are trying to have. And, you know, there's a bunch of fan service in this third film for, you know, people who have followed Keanu, Lawrence Fishburne, all these other people.
Yeah.
And I went in pretty like, okay, let's see chapter 3. And like I was expecting it to be the end, as you know, you heard in the beginning, spoilers, it's not the ending.
Yeah.
It's just chapter 3, and usually books have like what, 20 chapters?
Oh my
Which,
God.
which, to be fair, we should have seen it coming. It's called Prepare for War.
Yeah.
So like,
That's a good point.
I should have
Is-
seen that coming a mile
Is
away.
John Wick going to be the new Land Before Time and have like 20 movies?
No, John Wick is going to be the new MCU.
Close
Uh,
enough.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves did say he will continue to make these movies as long as his legs keep him up and the fans still want it.
Wow.
There you go. There you
Shout,
go.
out,
20
shout out to the
20
nicest
movies.
guy in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I left walking out. I'm like, okay, that was dope.
Yeah.
Ollie.
I mean, I've loved John Wick since it came out. Obviously, it's a fantastic series. I love that it has, to me, like it's like I love the action, I love all that stuff, but I love the world, the universe building. So for this one, I love that we got like to dive. Each film we've been getting like more and more of this like underbelly, like universe building stuff, and like ever since I saw the first gold coin in the first one, I was like,
What does this mean?
feel like this is special and not just like random action,
Mhm.
and it's not. And there's a lot of great moments in this.
There's a lot
one.
of thought put through.
A lot of put
Yeah.
through, and a lot of very satisfying, partially fan servicey, but I don't care because
Yeah.
we're out to get
We're in the sequel
entertained.
business. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. So I like it.
Yeah. Nice. Kaylin?
That was the smoothest little, and not me. When I had seen the previous John Wick movies kind of in passing, and didn't really think about it much because I don't really seek out adventure movies like high octane
action.
like shooting people and stabbing them in the face or whatever. So when I went into this, I was just like, all right, it's all going to be just a lot of really neat fighting and hopefully some neat plot, because I remember the last one and it was like, my dog, new dog, let's fight. That was like the whole movie.
That's what you got out of that?
I will well, preface everyone at home. This is pretty much, to me, what I got a lot of feels from. It's Fury Road, but just in the real world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of really good action.
Fury Road in
setups.
New York City.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and what I loved about this that would have been great for Fury Road is like the situational fights.
Mhm.
So like every time
Based
they
in their
went
surroundings.
every time they went in a new environment, I was like, ooh, how is
What's
he gonna
gonna
kill
happen
somebody this time? Like,
Yeah.
is he gonna use molten metal? Is he gonna use a horse? Oh, I'll use the horse. Like everywhere he went, there was some new way to kill people, and it wouldn't have mattered where he went. But I was very aware of that they were doing that. It felt like, do you like violence? Here's some fan service for violence.
Yo, dog,
Do
I
you
heard
like violence in Morocco?
So we put some violence in your violence.
It's true. It's but it was, all of it was like great, super fantastical, but great.
Yeah.
Josh.
No, just kidding.
Really,
When John Wick 1 when it came out, I fucking loved it. John Wick 2, loved it. And this one, I was so pumped. All I needed to see was the logo.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go see that. And like Ollie said, it's like the first one was kind of like, it's just John Wick. And then the second one, they built the world a little bit more. Like there's a little
More
bit
of the
more
Continental.
yeah, more of that. And then this third one, it's like they let me into the world more. Yes, I should have seen it coming a mile away that this was not the final chapter, so to speak. That it really is just a prep for war. But I loved every second of it. And I think when, like, speaking to what you were just saying, like, to me, what I see, like, when he's in a new environment, that's him, like, thinking on his feet. So it's really cool to see, like, oh yeah, they're in a stable. It didn't occur to me to use the horses.
Slap that ass.
Like anyway, I loved it a lot.
I was very fond of in the progression of the movies that it's like men versus men versus like more of an establishment. And this is like getting to the gods.
Oh yeah.
Situation.
The high table, the
Yeah,
elevator.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It got
right.
very video gamey feeling.
Yeah,
And I like that
it was great.
in a good way.
Yeah.
And now with that, we go into our brief synopsis. So we're trying to make this brief mainly because we got a lot to talk about. This is the third film. Also, this is the first time we're talking about John Wick on the show. So we might talk a little bit about the first movie and the second movie and how it escalated to this point.
A
But if anyone that hasn't watched John Wick 2, well, don't watch this movie. Watch the second one and then watch this one. So after the events
We'll
of
do
John Wick,
episodes on the other ones.
Yes.
Eventually.
So after the events of John Wick 2, John sends his new dog to the Continental to protect him. He acquires a stash of items that gets him to passage to Halle Berry's character with the help of Angelica Houston's character. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but this is just a synopsis. As John is in Casablanca to get information on the man that sits above the high table, an adjudicator informs Ian McShane and Lawrence Fishburne's characters that they must give up their place of business at the Continental and the Bowery, respectively,
because they helped John.
Yes, or feel the wrath of the high table. The adjudicator, played by
Adjudicator.
played by Asia Kate Dillon, recruits Mark DeCasco's character, who's working at a little Japanese sushi ramen stand, and they clean up house.
Yeah, they do.
John Wick meets the man atop the table, and he swears his fealty and service as long as he kills Winston. The excommunicado that he's in will be over. But until that point, people will still try to kill him since he is no longer allowed to have any services of this world that we're in.
Yeah.
They wind up at the Continental, and Winston appeals to John Wick's feat of getting out and living as a man and to not be the Baba Yaga anymore. They refuse the high table's offer, and the adjudicator deconsecrates the Continental, leading to the last stand fight with the help of Charon, who is Lance Reddick's character, the concierge. And finally, John Wick defeats Zero, and a parlay is made. Winston then betrays John Wick, and the Bowery King saves Wick to exact revenge on everybody.
Ding.
Wait.
The TikTok man.
You saw it as he betrays him?
Winston?
Yeah.
He says Baba Yaga, and he's like, yeah, Winston betrayed you in order to.
There's a lot of debate around that, actually, whether or not it's a real betrayal or not.
You just shot him
People
in
have
the right
taken it one or
places.
two ways.
At
But
the end
he-
of it,
I mean,
he says,
yes,
I'm
he
angry.
Yeah.
He shot him in the right ways, but he also shot him off like a 10-story building.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed he'd live either.
The thing is, like, he doesn't
Right.
want to kill him, but he has to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, quote unquote, in front of the adjudicator so he can keep the Continental. And the adjudicator said, like, oh, you did this as a front to show the power of the Continental.
Yeah.
Like, he used technically everybody. He didn't really want to use John Wick because, again, I think everything's feeling true, but it's a business at the end, nothing personal,
Right.
John Wick. And
Yeah.
then Lawrence Fishburne takes him in. He's like, now tell me, are you angry? Yeah, I'm back. But yeah, so that's it. Again,
pissed.
this is the third film in the franchise. First one starting out with a revenge story because people killed his dog. And then we find out a little bit more about the Baba Yaga, the Continental, this world of
Yeah.
assassins. Second
Well, I mean,
one's
technically it started because they fucked up his car.
yeah,
and
Killed his
they
dog.
mainly killed his dog.
Yeah. But
And
the
then-
car.
yeah. In the second one, he gets his car back, but then what happens is like a bunch of he ends up fighting other friends, his hitman
Yeah.
friends. He goes on a mission. We see the blood seals and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
the pacts between people, and he kills somebody on the Continental grounds, which causes all the events of John Wick 3.
Yeah.
So with
Because
that,
business is not allowed.
nope.
Nope.
With that,
to be
go
conducted on
into
continental grounds.
our production.
Production.
Caitlin, take it away.
This was distributed by Summit Entertainment. The director was Chad Stileski, who did the John Wick trilogy and upcoming Highlander film.
Ooh.
Production was Basil Iwanek, who did the Expendables trilogy, JW trilogy, K-19, Widowmaker,
And basic.
and Basic. And then Erica Lee, who did the John Wick trilogy, Sicario, and Wind River. The screenplay was by Derek Kolstad, who did the John Wick trilogy and is also doing the upcoming Continental TV series.
So
But
excited.
the story and all the characters were actually made by Derek Kolstad as well.
Real quick shout out to some of our patrons who caught that. Huckleberry and Sarge on our Discord.
Yeah.
They were talking about it, and I was like looking up when I was doing this, and I was like, oh shit, they already know about that.
Yeah. Because somebody was like, man, I wish they do a TV series, and they were laying it out.
And it's like, no,
And
it's already
then-
made.
Nope, it's coming.
Oh, dang. Well. And Shay Hatton, who did Entourage, Bernie Mac Show, Zip TV movie,
Zip, a TV movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac show. Hell yeah.
And then we've got Chris Collins, who's from The Wire,
Did.
Clone Wars, who
Worked on
did The Wire, Clone Wars TV show,
Sons of Anarchy.
Sword Art Online.
No, Sword Art Online.
I read SAO instead of SOA. And the upcoming Continental. And then we have Mark Abrams, who did the first screenplay for...
Whose first ever screenplay.
First ever
Whoa,
screenplay.
this is his first ever?
First ever
Wow,
movie.
good for him.
Was Parabellum. And upcoming Army of the Dead. And our cast, Mr. Keanu Reeves from Speed, the upcoming Toy Story 4, Bill and Ted, Face the Music, and then Mark Dacascos, Hawaii Five-0, Iron Chef America, Brotherhood of the Wolf, Lance Reddick, The Wire, Jonah Hex, White House Down, upcoming Godzilla versus Kong,
And Destiny.
Asia Kate, and Destiny. Of course, you nerd. We have Asia Kate Dillon, Orange is the New Black, and Billions, the TV show. Angelica Houston, The Addams Family, Wes Anderson Films, Troll Hunters TV show. Lawrence Fishburne, Osmosis Jones, Mystic River, CSI Universe.
I went for the weird ones.
the.
You
Good on
didn't
you.
put Matrix
liked
for either of
Osmosis
Because we
Jones.
already talked about them.
Yeah, fair.
He's known for American Gods.
I only know him from Osmosis Jones. I am joking 100%, but I wanted a straight face lie about that. Halle Berry, Flintstones, X-Men, Gothica, Monsters Ball, and Catwoman.
You
The
lead
Road-
with Flintstones, Tom?
Fuck yeah, put the Flintstones,
Of course
baby.
we do. That's, I mean,
Miss Stone with all that
Lead with
leopard skirt.
Accidentally skipped Ian
I
McShane.
totally skipped Ian McShane.
McShane?
Who's known
Who's
for?
from American Gods, Hercules, and the upcoming Deadwood TV movie.
As well as the series.
Real quick,
yeah.
Brotherhood of the Wolf, Mark Dacascos, if anybody gets a chance. It's a French film, really hard to find. So good.
So I knew him from American Iron Chef, but when I looked him up, that's like what he's most well known for.
Really?
It's so
Brotherhood of
good.
the Wolf.
I knew Iron Chef for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iron Chef.
That was me and my
Doesn't
dad would
know
watch that.
Chef.
Werewolves and
A la
ninjas.
cuisine!
Well, watching this, I was like, who? He's so familiar looking, and I would have never guessed.
Quick fun fact:
American
the main
Chef.
guy from the original Iron Chef is not his uncle.
Oh.
That's fictional.
What?
Even though every episode is like,
I've
my
been
uncle's
lied
I know,
to
right?
this
Yeah.
whole time?
Yes. Yes.
So
Can
the
I give
runtime.
one
The
shout
runtime
out?
is
Wait, I want to get one
yes,
cast shout
Corey,
out.
I'm still grieving.
I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Yaya and Ruyan, he was one of the knife brothers that Keanu
yeah.
fights. He's from a series called The Raid. And every time I see him, he was also put in Star Wars The Force Awakens because JJ loves The Raid. So I just want to give a shout out to him because he's one of the best fight stunt guys I've probably ever seen on film.
out
Wow.
there right now, live talent.
What was his name again?
It is, I'm probably butchering this 100%, but it's like Yayan Ruyan.
Yayan Ruyan?
Nice.
Well, if
Yeah,
we're
it's
wrong,
YAYAN RUHIAN.
Yayan. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll see.
The runtime, Caitlin, please.
Is 131 minutes. It was released May 17th, 2019. The budget is an estimated $55 million, and it grossed $88.8 million.
This Sunday.
Million.
Sunday.
This
ain't counting.
Sunday.
So on
He-
Monday,
he
when you guys
checked this
hear
morning.
this on Thursday, it'll be a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Rotten Tomato score is an 89% with an audience score of 93%.
Nice.
Which
So it's
is,
doing okay.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Not doing too shabby.
Yeah.
No, it may.
Yeah.
And
It's doing great.
It's estimated. So when I first looked this up, it was really weird. They didn't say like Wikipedia. They didn't show like what the actual budget for, and it like I had to like look through different sources to find what the quote unquote estimated budget was, which is really weird because the first movie was $20 million.
Wow.
And so like they're known for like a small budget, high action, which is
Second
great.
was 40.
Yeah, and so that's really cool. Like all these locations, all this stuff. Like it's not a bad way to spend $55 million.
Not at
No.
all.
Now, with that being done, we can go into our, as I said before, fruits and potatoes, but it's our meat and potatoes of the show.
Oh.
Fruits and potatoes are fine. Fruits are more healthier.
Fructose. Our favorite parts.
Mhm.
So let's discuss a little bit. Corey, you want to go first?
He shot my dog. I get it.
I get it.
That was pretty good.
That was
pretty
my
alright.
favorite line in the whole movie, for sure. Like, I loved the whole movie, but that line, that I get it, was like 2 on the money for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even see it coming, is the thing. When she said he shot my dog, I was like, yeah, man, be mad. But hearing him just go, yeah, I get it, is like
Yeah, this all started
Such an-
because of a puppy.
understated line.
Basically,
I think.
don't mess with assassins' dogs.
No.
Never.
Is the take.
How about
Never.
this? Don't mess with any dog.
Ever.
Yeah.
Or that.
They're
really.
all best. They're all the
But-
best.
But my 2 actual, like, beyond that, my favorite things to see was seeing the concierge fight
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
seeing him
Lance
get some
Reddick,
action. Yeah, dude, I love that guy. First of all, that actor.
Yeah, I love
But
him.
getting to see him just be all sophisticated, where he's talking about different bullets and armor-piercing
Mhm.
shotgun shells and stuff, but still having that like highbrow sophistication to it is amazing.
He's my vote for the next Alfred.
One of my favorite parts was in
that'd
that
be great.
in that particular sequence that you're talking about. Like, there's all this action, and then it kind of comes down to a lull, and it transfers down to the
safe
vault, and Ian McShane's just sitting on the couch, and the concierge just comes in,
Yeah.
puts his gun down, grabs another one, and heads out. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
I love that.
yeah.
I love the part. We're in stand. We're
I
in
need more
stand.
firepower.
Oh, it's really good.
But
It's a comedic, fun, good break.
Oh yeah. The other favorite part was the knife fight in like the knife shop.
Yep.
The different throwing knives, but also seeing him get fatigued. Like during that,
Yeah.
towards the end of that fight, he's tired. The other guys are tired, and they're like just kind of grappling and hoping someone grabs a knife. But then that last guy, he throws like 6 knives into, and then chucks an axe down the hallway at the last
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then also the line, "Sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker."
Yeah, Lawrence Fishman's great.
I think my favorite part was oh my gosh, I can't even remember his name.
Well, I
Bald
guess it's
guy,
fine.
sword. I'm gonna be the one that kills John Wick.
Oh, Mark.
Mark. Of course, his name is fucking Mark.
Iron Chef.
His character's name is Zero.
Okay,
Doesn't mean
just
we don't
as
even
bad.
hear that name though.
That's
But
what an edgelord name.
Just
First
call
of
him
all.
Iron Chef, and we'll know who you mean.
Iron Chef. I loved him fanboying
Oh,
over John
was
Wick.
so
He's
hilarious.
like, is this the dog?
Yeah.
This is the dog? Wow. I'm and then he sits down right next. At first I thought it was like an intimidation thing of
Yeah.
like, you're not going anywhere, we're gonna fight. Then when he's like, I really liked your work for a long
I'm a
time.
huge
It's just a
fan,
creeper
by the
soccer
way.
thing.
It's like working with one of your favorite actors or something like that, and you're like, so I really just wanted to tell you that I loved you in
yeah,
this.
yeah.
well, it's kind of like your favorite actor's getting through a divorce, and you overhear it. You're like, so can I get a picture?
Exactly.
That was amazing.
Josh. Your favorite part?
I mean, Corey did mention it. It's the I get it. I was the stable sequence. I really was like, wow, that like the thing about John Wick is I know that they're just like fight scenes after fight scene, but they are so well choreographed, and to watch them move through the set and do that, like the fact that somebody went, I have an idea. Let's be in the stables, and he uses the horses to kick the guys.
Yeah, slaps that
And
ass.
everybody went, yes, let's do that. It was just so out there that I was like, yeah, I'm in. He did it again. He didn't just do it once. He did
Wait,
it
And
again.
that
first
last
time
kick
he
was
did-
like 3 kicks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that first time he did this crack. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
died.
Dead.
Yeah.
100%.
For me, if I could say one part that hasn't been said, it's the beginning when he's getting wounded, like getting sutured up from the
Yeah.
doctor, and then the
Oh, the
doctor's like,
countdown and stuff.
well, the doctor's like, they'll never believe that I stopped exactly on the minute. And it's like, well, I could say I took it from. It's like, well, like I told you where the medicine was. And then he sits on the little thing. He's like, shoot me right. Bam! It's like, oh my god, didn't even let him finish. And then he's like, okay, hold
he
on.
doesn't have time.
Not one more bullet. He's like, not you do one more shot right here. Just don't hit it. Bam! It's just like, wow. He just, it's so good. But
He's
it's
like, you wouldn't have pointed there unless that was the spot.
Yeah.
So like,
it's like, but then it's like, it's the precision aim, it's the
Yeah.
aimbot
Yeah.
thing, and it's like he knows what
How
he's gonna
confident
say.
his aim is.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like the doctor's being super chill about it because he knows the reality of the situation is like, yeah, these people aren't gonna fuck around.
yeah, we don't have time for pleasantries
like
now.
as zany as the world has become in this film, like I love that there's still some of those kind of foresight things where it's like
Yeah.
there is no there's no action
very-
without reaction.
And that's the guy
Right.
from The Matrix too.
Yeah, okay.
Is it really?
Yeah, he's the guy, the
sounds like it.
Keymaster or whatever from the
Oh,
second
yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Oh, that guy.
course.
He gets
he is.
shot up as hell in the second one. Anyways, but yeah, I really like that, and then I really liked when he meets Angelica Houston's character. I like
Yeah.
where he's like,
Yeah.
I'm the one of the orphans of your tribe. Like I grant me passage. It reminded me a lot of him when he slits his wrists in Constantine and then
Yeah.
invokes the devil.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
it's one of those like I have to do literally I have to like sell my soul at this point and like do this and like it's so funny because it's kind of like I didn't know what was gonna happen in the movie. I was like, what's gonna happen? He's out of the thing. Well, he has to get brought back to New York.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? And it became for me like I was sitting in the theater. I was looking. I was like, this feels so much like a cinematic video game, like a dark Uncharted game where it's like I'm following this character. I like this character because I've been through with this character so much things. I'm learning more about the world he's in, and there's decisions that he has to make where it's like you have to take out Winston, lose your fucking wedding ring, and it's like, oh, is he gonna do it? And it's like, oh, he did it. It's like, oh, so now he's back to square one. It's like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna do the thing? And you're like, I don't know, because moral wise, like you don't see, there's not a lot of mercy from him when he like if you're in his crosshairs, you're dead. But he has friends and he has family.
I'm glad you said video game, because something I was thinking of during that last fight with him and the concierge going out, it was like, there's only been one other moment in a movie that's felt like this is what it's like to play a video game with your friend, and that was Iron Man and War Machine in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when this happened, I was like, this is what it's like to play an online video game with your friend.
It's like, cover me. Then like the fact that the guys had like bulletproof armor, SWAT things, it was like, yeah, this is just a hard new enemy now.
It's hard
Yep.
mode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
and John Wick's realization when he like was taking on that room and like him just shooting a couple of guys and they're not dead. He's like,
Oh, dude, and
you
all
can
the
see in his
headshots
face-
bouncing off.
You could see in his face like, oh
And then he has to like lift up their helmets to shoot them in the neck.
yeah,
I was like,
this is
oh,
gonna
so
be
cool.
different.
It felt like weirdly personal for him to like have to like lift their helmets and stuff too.
Well,
Like, which I get is like the point, but I don't know. I liked that they had the range, because they could have immediately just gone for like the big guns and done the like armor penetrating whatever.
yeah.
But the fact that they had a range
Well,
of like,
had
okay,
to
we
build up to it.
have to adapt and build up to something
It-
bigger
it's-
on our side.
It's kind of like when you like, okay, here's a fighting dude, blah, 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 you attack him, and then it's like, now you have to roll to hit them. And this was like kind of like the one enemy in the video game where it's like, you have to hit them from behind. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much I gotta do.
Yeah, and like it's kind of, you know, those boss fights that they're not just one person, it's like a group of people.
Oh, yeah.
And like each wave gets stronger and stronger and they go back to their like safe room and prepare. It's like yes.
Speaking of
Ollie,
safe rooms.
what are your favorite parts?
My favorite part, I mean, it has to be hands down. I need guns. Lots of guns. That made me
Oh, yeah.
so happy as a person, as my inner child, and I lit up with
As a fan of the
glee.
Matrix.
As a fan of the Matrix.
Can I piggyback on that for a second? Because I'm glad that happened. I'm glad you brought it up. Because I was hoping something was going to happen in the last one. I always joked that I had wished Lauren Fishburne had handed him like a blue pill.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Advil. You'll need it." Like I wanted some Matrix
Something like
reference.
that,
so I'm
yeah.
glad it kind
Glad
of
it kinda
finally
came.
got here.
Yeah. I was surprised that it was that on the nose, but I loved it. I ate it up.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite part. The other one is the knife fight. Like I think in the knife fight, and then like really anything with knives and swords.
Really?
Any
Yeah,
of
I
those
the
agree.
old
fights I
school
loved.
fights.
I really liked the fight with Ruyan. Like I
Yeah.
really liked, because it was a very like, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you.
That
We're
last
really,
fight.
really, no, the fight before.
Oh, when
the
they
last-
help him up.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one before.
and he's just like, all right, I'm up. You know, like
Yeah.
he shakes them off. He's like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah. And I
Because-
was watching. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, because the great thing about it, it's like, yeah, everyone's out to kill them, but it's like John Wick is a celebrity in the world with the assassins,
Yeah.
and like as much as the students, you know, are doing what their teachers telling them to do, like they, at the very end, he does show mercy, which was nice because it's like I'll be seeing you, because he knows like
So
this
did they.
this isn't over. And like they show mercy, and that same mercy is given to them in kind, because it's more of like, we want to fight the best.
Right.
And it's kind of like that honor among thieves feel, where it's like, yeah, we can,
Yeah.
even though we're supposed to be killing each other, it's like, no, personal, that's not personal. But then like in the
Yeah.
beginning with a fucking giant guy who should probably play fucking Jaws and James
was
Bond, like he comes at him early before the things. He's like, no one will know. And it's like,
That's a basketball player.
oh, dope.
Of course it is.
And I was like,
Of course.
man, what an asshole.
yeah.
Yeah.
To that point, Tom. Oh, sorry. I'll let you go in just a second. I just want to.
Yeah.
To that
Shut
point
up,
of those
Ollie.
two guys.
Good.
I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean
go
go.
ahead.
Go ahead now.
No,
You can go ahead. That's Tom's
no,
reaction,
but-
not mine.
But the thing I like about the John Wick, and especially that fight with the two guys, is that they don't make him invincible, right? He's not so good that he blocks every shot. Like
Yeah.
he has to make decisions where he's taking kicks to the body so he can block the knives that they have. And that wears on him, and it goes through the scene, and they're really taking into consideration, like, okay, someone who's taken 6 kicks to the body, how is he going to move now?
It was kind of leaning and towards that Jackie Chan kind of found environment.
Yeah.
But Jackie Chan takes the comedy a little bit higher by like having those over the top reactions to things. Like you'll hear like,
Like he
oh, I
hurts
hurt
his
my
hand.
yeah, exactly.
Or he'll like stub his
we went for
toe.
the exact same example.
Because that's the one. That's what it is.
Well, I mean, it's also like in that same vein, like with that same exact fight, I was like, he's got nothing but his belt.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like he's like, they help him up, and
Yeah.
it's like the second wave, and he's like, all right. And he takes off his belt, and he's like, let's
He's
do
allowed
this.
to can catch people's hands, which is dope.
Yeah.
But that whole final fight with Iron Chef America was
Shout out.
was amazing. Like I just love the environment. It gave me what's that old Jackie Chan movie? Was it Enter the Dragon? Is that the right one that I'm thinking of, or is it a
That's
different one?
Bruce Lee, I
With the-
think.
Bruce Lee. That's what I meant to say. What did I say?
You
Yeah,
said Jackie
Enter the
Chan.
It was
Dragon.
Jackie Chan. We were just talking about.
It's Under the Dragon.
It's the one with the bear claw guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they had like a mirror fight.
Mhm.
Reminded me of that a lot.
I
That's
like
cool.
I like the
I wonder if it's an homage. It probably is. a little
probably.
bit.
I think one thing I really liked about that sequence was like they kind of did a little Batman-y stuff,
Mhm.
where the mirror stuff, but then like hiding in the shadows.
Yep.
Where it felt very like, again, it is the Baba Yaga. He is back, and it's
Yeah.
like these. It's like within this world of the Continental and assassins. The one thing I really love is Braun, aka from Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
yeah.
He comes in there, but he says a lot of people wonder where the word assassin came from, and I'm like, it's hush hush, whatever. I remember that from a textbook. I was like, this is where the word assassin came from. But then he says like even more people like say like it came from this origin, that origin. It's like, yeah, it is like it sort of gave me like a little Assassin's Creed-y feeling of like we're
Yeah.
talking about the assassin world and where it came from, and of course it's some fucking dude in like the desert in another country or another continent. It's like, yeah, of course he's like ruling everything. But like in that sense, like it kind of brings back the mysticism about like who assassins were, because it was kind of like, you know, shadows in the night killing people because they couldn't wage war. They
Right.
had to do it secretly. But now they've created this like community amongst everybody. So I really like that world building aspect, and that like, oh, it's a third film, but there's still more for us to gain from it.
Mhm.
Like it does have a developmental standpoint in that sense. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
There's more to come.
yeah. Any scene with Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
He still has a stash.
Huh?
Nothing happened to a stash.
Oh yeah.
His house burned down. but
Yeah. That's true. Underneath. With
Underneath. Underneath.
With
Yeah.
yeah. I guarantee if they do that, it's like a Skyfall move, which is kind of dope.
I have a question.
Yeah.
No.
How much do you think one of those gold coins is worth? Because sometimes he only has to put down one in their life. Monetarily.
In like American non-fealty type of
There's
thing.
got to be like a casino cash out place, right?
No,
Yeah.
they make it out of that spot that they go to in Casablanca.
No, I
Yeah,
know, but
but
like me receiving coins as a person that needs like to pay rent.
You'd have
It's
to do like
probably, like-
appraisal. It's probably like $50,000.
No, but like in the economy, there's probably somewhere where you can just cash out.
I'm sure we could look up how much, like estimate the weight of the coin and how much solid gold is worth.
Yeah, I
there.
mean, I feel like it's like not in a weird way. It's Monopoly money. It only works in the
Well,
game. It only
Right.
works with amongst assassins.
But what it gets you is crazy shit.
Well, it's it's like what he said. It's like this is the commerce of service. It's like I'm giving you like part of my bond is this
Right.
money, which like I love that more because Corey and I we've talked about it, and everyone in the world knows like money fucking sucks. Like, and the idea of like you must give these paper things to people for things that like why don't we just barter? But this like they kind of went back to like the reality of like
the way
the exchange
yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I see it is like in a video game, you know how like you'll do a raid and you get specific type of
Yeah.
currency that you can then
Yeah.
trade for items that then you can go sell.
Ollie's eyes just
Good
lit
point.
up.
Yeah.
I think that's how. Does that make sense?
I need to
No,
watch
it
all
makes
three
perfect
movies
sense.
again.
But I think it's
I think a round number $50,000. That's how much
Yeah.
it's worth. But like the thing is like $50,000 in cash versus that gold coin. The gold coin
coin's
has
worth-
worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom
amongst
says 50. I
assassins.
say 51,000. Did I price this right? You
wow.
You did. It's $50,000.
Are we playing over
in
under?
one.
1 cent.
We could.
We're playing over under.
But yeah, I think somewhere around that range because it's like the assassins don't need all the money in the world because they kind of just live off what they're doing, like how that one homeless
Right.
guy in the Bowery was.
Jason Mantzoukas, dude, TikTok man.
Yeah, so it's like that kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, they don't need all the money in the world, but that if they have like 4 coins, they could be at the Continental for a day or for whatever they need to.
Yeah.
So
Point.
It gets him a lot.
yeah,
So does that move us to our favorite character?
characters and side characters.
Oh, what are
There's a few.
considered characters and side characters?
Is
Yeah.
John Wick the main character and then everyone else a side character?
I would say so.
Because he's
Yeah.
a titular character. So let's just do side characters.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like
Favorite side character. Corey, you want to go first?
I get to go first on everything today. Yeah, concierge.
Yeah, so we don't forget.
It's so hard to pick.
Concierge.
I mean, Bowery King, Lawrence Fishburne is my second, because I think every scene he was in, he commanded. But
It's his scene.
For me, getting to see Sharon fight and be something else than just the guy behind the desk, it made me like when they introduced him and everything was getting locked down. I remember sitting in my seat going, "Oh my god, if he fights, I'm going to be the happiest person in this theater." And then he picked up guns, and I was like, "This is it. This is all I wanted."
This is the moment.
Yeah.
So for me, it's him for sure.
Nice.
Caitlin?
For humans,
I like the 2 dogs.
I did.
They were amazing.
I love the
I have that written
dogs.
down here too, Caitlin.
BT Dubs, doesn't that totally feel like it's like the character you unlock that has an ability to use 2 dogs instead of
Yeah.
like
I was thinking it reminded me of Borderlands 3 just announced that they have like a Beastmaster type class to where you have pets, and that's exactly what this is.
It's like instead of holding 2 guns, she has 1 gun with more ammo, but
Yeah.
then she has 2 dogs she can use. It's like
Yeah. And they both have ammo. No, I'm just kidding. No, they carry ammo.
Yeah,
Which is dope.
Yeah.
I
so
want
human
that game
answer,
now.
Caitlin.
Human answer, I think, is 0.
Okay.
Just because of like
Hold on, I'll be right there. I'll catch up to you.
poor little baby. He's trying
No,
his
you
best,
won't.
but he's not gonna do jack all.
That was a good fight, wasn't it?
He's like,
I think we could have been friends.
yeah. I don't remember what if it was like we could be friends or whatever. Did he say that?
He's like, if I didn't have to kill you, I think we could have been friends.
Oh yeah.
That's always the line. You
I
that's
know,
always the
but-
line.
But the
this
secret is
one
he didn't
actually,
have to
like,
kill him.
I felt something when he said it, rather than all the other times I've heard it. I'm like, uh-huh.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because like he's this really cool dude, and like there is some similarities between the 2.
Yeah.
And it's like there is this.
Pretty well matched too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of like Corey's gonna fucking love when I say this. I'm gonna relate this to anime. It's Kenshin and Shishio. It's the successor and the predecessor, like the fucking Batosai who killed all these
Good thing I
people.
wore the white pants.
Right now, he has the white pants today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between.
Everybody should have worn their red pants.
Yeah, for all the blood.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
much blood. But you know what I'm saying, Corey? Like
I do, 100%.
Like Zero and Shishio are like have this ruthlessness, and he says that when like the kids and grandsons, wherever. By the way, I totally saw the lights from the Apple Store, and
Oh.
in the background.
Shout out.
Oh yeah, nice.
And he's like, that's what makes you different. I would have kept going, but there's kids in the way. And I was like, yeah, because he's
I
more
liked that.
ruthless.
Yeah.
And John Wick's like, no, I had a wife, but I also lost my.
Well, he's
finger
got a
that
code.
that we have to CGI this shit now.
Yeah, I know. When
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, I kept looking at his hand.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I was
I'm
like,
one
now
of
I
those
have to
people
look.
that if it's gone, I want to make sure.
Yeah,
it's
it's really
Yep.
weird. It
and
becomes.
if you mess up,
it becomes
I
something.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I will know.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can't. I can't. I hyper focus on stuff like that, and I can't. That's why I noticed the mole.
I'm
in
just
Shazam.
I'm imagining your brain going, "Where's the finger?" Okay, it's gone.
Well, no, they did a good job. The finger wasn't there the entire time.
I
Yeah.
saw it once.
Yeah, you're talking about a company who paid $5,000 to make digital dog poop. They're not going to skip out on a finger.
Yeah, I know.
Um.
I
So
know.
so Zero's you. Josh.
And the dogs.
I would say Sophia. I really enjoyed her character, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I wanted more.
When she
Yeah.
swishes the water and spits it back in, is like
So good.
here.
She doesn't even swish it back in. She spits in the water,
Barely.
hoping that most of it gets out of the bottle.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think she hoped anything.
Yeah. No, I just really dug her. I think you just said Corey more. I would have loved more of her character, more building of that. No, I dug her and the 2 dogs. I mean, come on, it was sick.
Yeah.
It was baller.
I would love to see more.
because she used
Sit.
them in combat.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
talking
That
to
was-
you, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So,
I would love to see more because I want to see why they hate each other so much, or like, obviously I don't need to see the daughter and shit like that, but it's kind of like, man, she really fucking does not like him.
yeah.
If she had the ability to shoot him, she would shoot him.
Yeah.
But it's like, but she, they're willing to help, so it's kind of cool.
Mhm.
Ollie,
Got that marker.
Halle Berry free.
It's actually Halle Berry full.
Harry Bailey.
Halle Berry full. She is my favorite character in this for sure.
Okay.
Hands down. I just loved her attitude. Loved the way she fought with him.
I really
The
did want to know
dogs.
that backstory though.
I think we'll get it. We'll definitely get it.
I think I hope so. I would like to see a lot more.
Because
of her.
Braun's probably going to come back, who's like, I gave you this hotel, and now you effed my legs, and your dog bit my penis, and Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne's like, I am the king.
Lawrence Fishburne is definitely though a strong second for me.
Yeah.
Like he owned his scenes. He was better in this one than the second one. I just think he had more of a commanding performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
wrote
it's-
him a little
I
better in
liked-
this one too.
Just because like there's not going to be room to talk about this. Keanu Reeves, I feel like I liked his performance more in the first one. like especially when he was tied up.
Save it for the qualms.
So
It's not a qualm.
for me. I think Ian McShane's my favorite character, Winston, because he does play it pretty cool. He does like this is like you're literally seeing the repercussions of the second film of helping John Wick as a friend.
Yeah.
He does kind of play a little bit of mastermindy of like I'm just gonna sit in the back and hang up whenever the adjudicator calls and all that stuff, sitting with the dog, drinking some wine. And he's like, do what you do best, hunt. And it's like after watching Hellboy, I've never watched Deadwood. So I know it's fucking my fault. I'm stupid. But now I want to watch it. And I'm just like, because looking him up, writing the notes for it, it's like seeing his little bio blurb. It's like Ian McShane best known for playing every type of character. He's quote unquote, the quote is in the blog is he has cornered the market on playing every single type of character.
Wow.
And I was just like seeing, I was like, and he plays it in like a very devilishly charming way.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was really like enamored of like seeing how he performed.
He always plays like the leader in something. No.
I mean,
Yeah.
What does that
I'm
mean,
really
every type of
glad.
role?
he did it
I'm
in
glad-
he did it in Hercules.
What was in Hercules?
He wasn't Hercules.
he was
I'm
Zeus,
glad
wasn't he?
you brought him up because it's easy to not name him because he's so good in everything he does. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it's easy
Yeah.
to just be like, yeah, Ian McShane's great.
Yeah.
But let me focus on the person I was surprised by.
It's
because I
yeah.
don't think I've seen a performance of his where I was like, I caught you acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Josh's, Ryan Reynolds, and Neil Patrick Harris. It's always them.
Yeah.
But Ian McShane, like for me, I just really, really liked how he played things like he was going to lose the Continental and X, Y, and Z. But like he just played so calm and cool. I was like,
Yeah.
he's my favorite character in that sense.
If you get a chance to see Deadwood, it's pretty
great,
incredible.
yeah.
Like Lawrence Fishburne was definitely to me the most entertaining. If anything, is like
Yeah.
something you gotta cut a motherfucker. And it's like okay, cool.
Oh,
But
it's so good.
I just feel like this movie just
Yes, we know you like Halle
establishes-
Berry.
I didn't hear what you
Well, what I was going to say is that this movie really establishes like you fucked with the wrong people.
said. Oh yeah, 100%.
oh,
like-
yeah.
As Blade says, all these motherfuckers try to ice skate uphill.
Again. You
Again,
fucked with the wrong people
Yeah.
again.
yeah. It's kind of like in Jurassic Park, they never learn. It's like, oh, let's play with dinosaurs. Ah,
Again.
dang, that didn't
Oh,
work.
let's fuck with John Wick.
Again.
There's an internet meme. John Wick's the only one that can
He
take out
don't care.
Thanos.
You tell him, oh, he can't do business. No, bro.
I still have time.
Anyway.
The thing, what was it that they could have defeated Thanos if
If he tears apart John Wick's dog.
Yep, that was it.
Just because John Wick's like, yeah. And then fucking Josh posted on our Facebook where it's Liam Neeson from Taken. It's like, I don't have, who is this? And it's like, John Wick. Okay, never mind. I don't want any of that.
Oh,
Nope, won't
Oh,
be touching that
never mind.
today.
So qualms?
So now let's go
Qualmy
to
qualms?
qualms. Corey, don't go first. I'm going to go first.
okay. Thank you.
Wow.
I was going to say not me, please.
Yeah. For me, this film, I think, like every single film has leaned into an aspect of the world of John Wick that I've loved. Like the first one's really just like the tip of the iceberg of like the Baba Yaga. And
Yeah.
the second one's like, here's the Continental and here are assassins and they all know each other. And this one's like, now there's different assassins from different places as well as the origins of the assassins and how worldwide it is. And that there is an order in the world of the assassins and the highest order is the high table. But one part of it, I think, and everyone at home take this with a grain of salt. I grew up on action films, but there was a part in this film where like, John Wick is known. The John Wick series is known for like highly choreographed sequences. There's
Yeah.
some parts I was like, I don't think that was that well done. Certain points where I felt like there was too long of a pause in the action, like
I was okay.
like with Halle Berry,
Yeah.
like having to reload her gun and then like shoot the guy that she's right under. Like she did a little booty bump for the dog, and then all of a sudden she like reload her gun, and it took like fucking what 30 frames, but I was like, it's a little long. But it's because mainly I would say I come in with like baggage because I've seen like movies like Expendables or Guardians of the Galaxy where they don't do action as well choreographed. And so everything's just like boom, 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 boom. Like it's so cut so goddamn fast that
Yeah.
like
But
my
for a
brain
John Wick film.
yeah, like there's a highly choreographed sequence. It's more of a dance. It's more of
Yeah.
a dance and a highly action set piece. But those were
Yeah.
things that like were glaring in my eyes.
Well, I mean, on that, just to something that I noticed about this one, and maybe I'm crazy, but I felt that the fights, though they were beautiful in many senses, some of them felt like they were held back. Like they were the actual people performing them were actually
like waiting. You feel you
waiting,
can hear
like,
the
you could-
numbers.
yeah, and it's like
5, 6, 7, 8, tap, tap, tap,
yeah,
tap,
and
tap.
so it's like now I can't imagine these fights, the rehearsals, everything that has to go into it. I just noticed it in this
Yeah.
one.
I would say what we're trying to talk about is how like Caitlin notices like a wrinkle on a CGI character.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Fair.
It was a mole.
yeah.
It was a mole. actually.
Whatever.
And it was
Again,
real, not
it's
CGI.
the
How
most
dare you?
minuscule thing ever.
Yeah, fair.
Secondly, you know, the great thing about, like I said, the film is tonally very focused in the world of the assassins and John Wick and all that stuff. I just felt like sometimes it's not like it's a bathos thing where it's like they don't take it seriously, but there was just kind of like a nonchalance about things. And I like going back to, I guess, to the Casablanca shooting scene where it's like people are shooting each other and then they run out of bullets and then they have to like look at each other and then they get back up and they reload. And I was kind of like, yeah, that is what would happen or shit like that. But it's kind of like, I feel like John Wick would probably just, you know, grapple both of them and take them down instead
Yeah.
of like
So
pause and all that stuff.
I have pretty much the same qualm where my note I wrote is a little more dramatic, but I said the fights felt soulless. And in that, I mean that, like, if you think back to the first John Wick, that scene where they first invade his house is probably some of the best usage of space and fight choreography that I've ever seen. And each fight kind of had a story to tell with it. And a lot of these fights did not. A lot of these fights were just fights.
There was
And I don't-
action beats.
Yeah, they hit action beats, and like they were cool looking. Don't get me wrong. Like the horse thing was great, but there was a lot of the fights where I actually felt a little bored,
Like,
and I
and the
didn't
same-
expect that from John Wick.
The same happened for me too, because I feel like I actually lost investment in what I was looking at, because as he was like he was picking up whatever, and that was cool, but it kind of felt like the fights were a little whatever too, which was kind of the point since everybody's out to kill him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel
For
like they
me-
could have maybe introduced the assassins or a little more.
So
to
that's
make it matter.
my next point. The first movie you have Vigo, Marcus, Perkins, Avi, and Kirill, who's like the big bodyguard guy. The second film you have Bowery King, Ares, Cassian, Santio, Gianna, and Julius. This one we had Iron Chef.
Yeah.
And, like
Yeah.
no other. The thing about the other John Wick films is each of those fights with those there was too many faceless assassins in this.
Yeah.
The other ones with all the face characters were unique to that character. Like Ruby Rose not talking, Cassian
or
on the subway.
Common, baby.
That's Cassian, yeah.
Oh, love
On the
that.
subway fight, and like each of them had a unique thing about that character
And they
Yeah.
they
that
said
made
it in
the
their
fight interesting.
they said it in their faces.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know? Like the first guy with the knife stuff, he's the villain from Shanghai Noon. And he's
Right.
also in Batman Begins as they must have contaminated the water. Like that's that guy. But he only plays those like stereotypically like dope Asian dudes or really smart guys. But like he didn't have that much of a part. You just see him like he's
Yeah.
at a restaurant and that's it.
Yeah.
But like the fight with Perkins in the hotel room where she uses her jacket to fight, and then you have the super big buff guy from the first film who's like the kid's bodyguard who's super strong, and they're fighting through the casino, and he like picks him up and throws him off the second story. Or you have like I keep going back to the silencer fight with Cassian through the subway.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny
And
and it's effective.
I missed things like that in this film.
Like and again to its point, like we mentioned earlier, it's much like Fury Road, where it's like a kind of a nonstop action thing because it is always a chase. Everything's a chase scene,
yeah.
for better and for worse. Where like with Mad Max in a comparison, like it's a high octane action where like the world's pretty like not simple, but like it's intricate in its own way. We don't get everything from it. We don't get a narration about it. But
Well,
like,
I mean, this felt like he was always like every fight was a result of him being on the run and having to survive this situation, as opposed to him necessarily
choosing.
like choosing to, okay, we need to infiltrate this.
He's reacting
place.
to everything instead
Right.
of creating it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, in the first one, it's a lot of reacting as well. I mean, like especially with them invading his
That's
home,
true.
but like there's story behind that,
but
right?
him-
It's
but then,
pulling him
like,
out of
he seeks
retirement.
out the club. You know what I mean? Like that's a
Yeah,
little different. In this,
Yeah, your qualms.
yeah. So for me, mostly like I didn't really have that big of an issue with the fights as much, but it was
Not enough Halle
more-
Berry.
Not enough Halle Berry for sure, but not enough Keanu in a weird way. Like I felt like I didn't
I
get
agree.
the performance that I wanted. Like that first movie, it just felt like it was like perfect.
I would have to say his biggest performance part is with Angelica Houston, and
Yeah.
then with the King of the High Table.
The high table,
That's
yeah. And then, but there's no like final defining thing that he does. I guess he has his last line or whatever, but like that wasn't as poignant.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to be a bit more poignant. I was waiting for him to say something a little more complex, but he says, yeah. And it's fine.
I agree.
get-
Ollie, I think the dialogue in this film really suffered.
yeah.
The last two lines, I laughed. He's like, "Are you pissed off?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, I swear, if all he says is
yeah.
in a husky voice, and then he was like,
You know what it reminds me of?
"Yeah."
You know what it reminded me of? The weird letdown. I had this big letdown moment in The Dark Knight. Have you seen Dark Knight Rises?
No, she hasn't.
She hasn't seen any of them.
I'll hold off then.
Probably not.
Never mind. There's
Batman.
Okay, you have to
Voice.
explain.
there's an
Just explain
exchange.
it.
There's an exchange there that's climactic. The dialogue exchange that just falls completely flat for me.
Oh, because
But-
it's husky and needlessly.
Well, see,
It's
for
just
me,
the
that
words aren't well put together.
Oh,
those last two lines actually felt in line with his character. That those ones didn't bother me at all. But there's not enough of the lore moments. Like in the first film, you have I heard you struck my son. Well, yeah, he stole John Wick's car and killed his puppy. Oh, and then he hangs up. Like I missed those over the top, ridiculous kind of
Action-y
don't,
stuff.
Don't mess with John Wick. Yeah.
It's the Chris Evans from Scott Pilgrim.
Was it just
You know?
2 clicks?
Or like the boogeyman? No, he's the one you sent to kill the boogeyman. Like I missed that stuff.
see, and I want to add a little addendum to the last couple lines made me laugh, but it didn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
no,
But
it
it
was.
just like
I mean, this one is
there-
the silly.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah.
saying it didn't.
But
yeah.
there wasn't I wish there were more moments like that. I think I'm agreeing basically.
I wanted him to
Corey
say
is
something
saying.
that would pump
Yeah.
me up.
So
Yeah.
so
and he didn't.
I was
I mean,
doing.
to me, it did because it was the same as, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. It's like ridiculous and gravelly. But the other stuff was missing. There was no real lore dialogue that built into the world.
While you guys were talking about it, I was online on the IMDb and checked out all those writers we talked about. It's the first time that's ever happened. The first two films were written purely by Derek Kolstad. And
I
so
wonder why they brought on more people.
I mean, it's a bigger film. It's becoming a franchise now. So, I mean, definitely studio involvement, I feel like, especially the fact that since he now is going to create the Continental TV show, it's kind of like helping hands. You know, I think, like, especially he had more time to work out John Wick 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then, like, now 3 is kind of like, you know, he always saw it as a trilogy, but it's kind of like, well, now we have to make that and not George R. R. Martin it and just, like, wait 10 years to make a sequel.
That makes
Or
sense.
even another George fucking Miller.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
qualms, Josh?
Yeah, my qualms centralize around one particular scene, and it is when he meets the quote elder of the high table.
Oh yeah.
I
Oberyn?
first I can't buy that guy is the elder. There's a part of me that is
He's a little too young to be the elder.
I know that it's really dead on. I mean, the elder, and maybe it's the language, but I still don't buy him as the leader of this quote underground like society. He just doesn't strike. He strikes me as he's a look over here. I'm not the like.
He's Ben Kingsley from Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
He could be a
he's not the real.
So, can I ask then, who would you cast instead to be the real, to give you that right feel? Oded Fair from Mummy?
Well, before we get into
Frankie
casting,
Muniz.
can I ask what the qualm about it is? Because
No,
maybe it's
it's-
intentional that he's supposed to be a.
No.
Not
It's
him.
just that's really just more of a. I don't even know if that's a qualm. It's more of like I get hung up on that. I don't know. I just don't buy it yet. He also just doesn't strike me as the leader of this society.
So like,
Then
your
maybe
call
it's
would be,
his,
if he is supposed to be the leader,
the
then
way
I'm-
that he
then I'm
was
let
written,
down.
then I'm let down.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
He
the
just-
presence for it.
He doesn't have the presence. He doesn't seem like.
Love him in Wonder Woman, though.
It's not even the actor. It's like the what the
What
character
he
represents.
puts
The
out.
character.
Ah, voila.
Yeah. And then the decision that John Wick makes in that moment, though necessary to live, I just don't know if he would. Me, as I know John Wick and what I think I know as John Wick,
Uh-huh.
I don't think that he would pledge his fealty and have to kill a friend in order to live,
Survive.
to survive.
And to me, to that point, I loved that because it was so like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I love that because it's like, I 100% agree. It's like, why the fuck would he do this? Like, he did this all because he got out and then he wants revenge and now he has to come back in. It
Yeah.
felt so like off character, but then to me, it made me so excited because I was just like, well, now what's gonna happen? You know what I
Well,
mean?
it gets full circle to the first line that Winston says in the original film, where he says, "You so much as dip a toe back in this world, and you're in for life."
Yeah.
So it's a prophecy fulfilled.
But then,
Yeah.
like to that point, I was like, yeah, I felt so like, whoa. He has to like now he's like the main high tables like assassin dude, right? Like welcome back, and it felt a little weird. I was like, what the fuck is gonna happen? But it kind of has a full circle moment with the first one of like you made it out, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like there is that character flaw that John Wick has of like he does. It's like you're only trying to stay alive so you can keep the memory of your wife, but then you'll die as the Baba Yaga, never actually not living as a man.
Yeah.
So it does kind of play out. It's like, yeah, we never saw him how he did really live, you know, outside the, you know, blah, blah, blah. We saw it for like, you know, a couple minutes in the beginning of the film, of the first one, but.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, we haven't really seen him full in too. Like, we don't know how he was when he was the Baba Yaga. Like, we don't know, like,
We
this
got a
is just
taste of
him.
it at the end of the film.
Huh?
We got a taste of it at the end of the film, blending into the shadows and.
Well, what I mean is like, let's do prequels. Like, we've never seen like what he was as the Baba Yaga. Like, we know him reacting to this situation. This is John Wick, like reacting and
Junior
trying
Wick.
to Junior Wick. It's just like we don't know. Like, anyway, it just was a decision that I was like, I have a really hard time really understanding why they would even happen.
I would say like this: if he didn't choose and he had to like quote unquote like not do whatever the fuck, because the main film is like his survival. Is like him running to survive, and he has to make any deal with the devil he possibly can. But to that point, if he'd stayed on true character, he probably would have died in this film.
Yeah,
it would have been done. And they were foreshadowing that a lot.
Yeah,
it's like you're gonna die, and maybe not today.
They were gonna leave him to die.
Yeah.
And
it's like, but you will die, and then it's like that's it. And it's like, oh shit, is this gonna be? And that's why I thought like, is this gonna be the last film? But then, no, baby,
no.
We got some miles to go still.
Yeah, which I'm not technically mad about. But
no, I'm not mad.
Any other qualms for everyone?
Yeah, I haven't said mine yet.
Go ahead, Corey.
Again,
no comment.
No comment. Did he die?
No.
Oh, he didn't die.
No, he didn't die.
No, he was still alive. He disappeared at the end of the second film.
Well,
He was
still
stabbed.
another movie.
Bring him back, baby.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I get that. I love Iron Chef. Don't get me wrong. Should have been Common.
As the main guy, he's like, "Hey, you're the one."
Yeah.
That, you know what? That it
Because-
would have been cool for a character development moment.
And like, I have no problem with bringing a character back in the fourth film or whatever. But then I didn't need to see the like, oh my god, he's still alive at the second. Like, just bring him back.
Yeah.
I think it was too much of like a tease and then drop it.
Good point.
It was for me. I was expecting him to come back this whole time because of how they left it in the second film. And so when the credits rolled, I was looking for him the whole time. And when the credits rolled, I was really disappointed.
It's a very like Empire Strikes Back feeling. Like the second one's like set up for such a great thing, and then some things don't get played out in the third one. But, fourth one. We'll see.
So that was disappointing to me to not see him come back after the way they left it in the second film, and how much of a part he played in that, and how much they emphasized him, not being dead on the train afterwards.
Yeah.
The other thing was I did not enjoy any of the time in Casablanca.
No.
It separated him too much from everything that was going on for me, and it made it seem like I was watching two different movies simultaneously. And I would have liked either an entire movie in Casablanca or an entire movie in New York. But for me, they didn't spend enough time for me to fall in love with it there, and they spent too much time for me to forget about New York.
I think the only part of the Casablanca I liked was with Braun. Was talking about like this is the first coin ever made. I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah.
A little bit. I just want to point out that his name is Jerome Flynn.
All right.
Yes.
And he's
but
pretty
like,
amazing.
And he wants a castle.
For me, you introduced it and I didn't not like Casablanca. I mean, I think to the contrary, I liked it too much, and that was maybe the issue. Was like, I feel like they set up great characters, a great vibe for the city, everything like that. With Halle Berry's character and the two dogs, and then they dropped it like it's hot real quick, and then they're just gone.
Yeah.
And to me, I either would have either liked him to stay in San Francisco, in New York a little longer, or within the U.S., or do the entire movie in Casablanca and have him come back at the end.
And then the third one, they're like, "We need you back, John Wick."
Yeah. Or he finds out that his escape to Casablanca is worse, you know what I mean, or something he has to try to get back to New York, even though he's now hidden somewhere in Casablanca and try to find his way that way. But for me, it took me out of the film pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ollie,
Interesting.
your qualm?
I just had one small one. I didn't love the way the horse kicking looked. It looked CG, and it took me out.
You want to know something crazy?
I don't know how possible that is to make
You know,
horse kick under.
It is very CG.
No, I know it was CG. It looked very
They
CG.
didn't spend the time to blend it.
It
Yeah.
wasn't clean. CG.
No, but it wasn't even the CG that took me. I was like, is it really that easy to just make a horse kick for you on command? Like,
It is,
for the perfectly lined
but
up enemies.
Not
kind of
It's
safely.
thing?
not safely with a stuntman behind him.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say like this, it's very easy to make us kick, just hitting the right place in our knee. So definitely with horses.
It just felt a little. It dipped a little bit into cartoon territory.
too video gamey.
Yeah,
Press
a
the R
little-
button here.
to make this horse kick for you.
I'll be honest, as someone who lived on a farm and took horse lessons and stuff, it is that easy. Like
Yeah.
it is just
Okay.
a slap it happens, but
All right.
they didn't blend it
no.
well.
Tom, no.
slap it happens.
You know it. You can. I hope
Shake,
someone takes a
bake.
soundbite for that.
Wow.
Cool.
That was it.
All the qualms done.
Yeah.
So now we must rate.
Okay.
Ollie,
must
Josh,
rate.
Tom.
Ollie, Josh, Tom. You know what? Fuck it. Ollie, I won't make you go first. I'll go first
Okay.
because Josh is,
Wow.
We'll go reverse.
Even
alphabetical.
Let's throw
worse.
Josh under
see,
the bus.
See how I made that a very generous thing and just backhanded somebody at the
Yep.
same time? For me, it's a 4.2.
Okay.
Wow.
Solid 4.2. I've grown up on action movies, like shitty action movies that I fucking love, right? And then seeing this,
Fucking
I
love.
fucking love. And like seeing this, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like stupid actiony kung fu gun fighting movie. But there's a lot of like, for me, when I was in the theater, I was like, there's a lot of, oh shit. But it's like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like when the knife goes in
Stabbed
the eye.
him through the
Oh
eye.
yeah, those
I
moments I
had
was
to
like,
turn away.
oh, I love that shit, and I want more of it. And like those are the kind of things where it's like, yeah, let's fucking put that on. You know, like this is the movie that like, oh yeah, like it's not something I'm like, you have to know everything about the lore and read the books. It's like, no, I'm gonna fucking watch this movie and we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And we can
Yeah.
laugh about it. You know, I could, Netflix and chill with it, or we can just like hang out and play some board games, and while that's in the background, it's a very enjoyable movie that like if it's on a rerun on TV, it's like it's probably the best thing that's on TV. If that's a rerun,
Good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 4.2, solid. Like, look, I'm willing to buy it. The John Wick series like has done super well for someone, and Corey knows it too. Like, I grew up also on Jackie Chan stuff, so it's like seeing nice, well done choreography versus just a lot of smash cuts of punching people's faces and like elbows flying for no reason. Like, cool. I got to see people actually acting. I get to see some wonders. I get to see some good cinematography, like some good light setups. Like everything looks beautiful.
yeah.
Like everything looks like a still shot. Like, cool. That could be on my wall.
The lights.
The lighting in there is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, their use of light, the green at the
The green, yeah, it's like, of course, put the mood light on, and it's fucking green strobe lights, and it's
What
like
does he say? We've got to set the mood for
set the mood for our
yeah.
guests,
Yeah.
and like, of course, like everything, like when he sees Angelica Houston, like the room that they're in to make the deal where he's getting like fucking burned like an animal, like it's all tungsten lighting, but outside they have blue LEDs, so you have that great contrast. It's like you don't get that in like billion-dollar films.
Yeah.
You get CGI sets.
Yeah.
But this is like,
Yeah.
cool. The gaffers and the G&E team like are on fleek. The DP on fleek. And it's like, you don't get that in any other type of film other than a film that wants to be a highly stylized thing. The last thing we saw, beautiful neon lights, Detective Pikachu, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
when was the last time you saw that? You can't really say. And so like, that's the crazy thing. It's like, these films are beautifully shot, beautifully made.
The Raid.
The writing is, neither here nor there, but it's like, yeah, I like it a lot.
Nice.
Dang.
Nice.
Am I next or Josh next? We're
I'll
gonna
go
reverse
next.
alphabetical.
Between you two.
I will. It's a 4.5.
Oh.
Five being something that you would not change anything about. So 4.5. I would change about 0.5.
About
Worth of-
0.5 of things.
Yeah, of things.
Fair.
Longer hair for Keanu.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. And that beard, that like neck beard, man, gotta shave that. No. 4.5.
He's on the run, okay?
Yeah.
Fair.
Is this house burned down?
It's true.
Although I'm sure the accommodations at the Continental are more than good.
More than.
I would like to see a continental breakfast. But anyways, Ollie, go ahead.
Mine is also 4.2. I love the John Wick movies. I actually think this is my least favorite of the three.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if I would give the first one a 5. So this has to kind of be lower on the scale a little bit. So yeah, 4.2 feels good. Still really fun action movies. Keanu Reeves, I'll see whatever he's in. Lawrence Fishburne, amazing. Halle Berry, awesome to see her back.
It's
again.
Lauren.
Oh my God.
I don't care.
Kidding.
Wow.
But yeah, that's my score.
Halle Berry.
So now it is down to Corey and Caitlin.
Well, it's
Both-
me first because she has 3, so it's me
Yep,
next.
Of course.
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
Tom, I grew up on those same films, but John Wick gave me a different kind of set a bar for me. And I actually left disappointed after this film.
Really?
To the point where I went home. I talk about John Wick to my wife all the time. I try to get her to watch it all the time. I'm like, these are fucking amazing. Like these are like unlike anything I've ever seen. They're so creative, this and that. And when she asked me when I saw the film, she said, "How was it?" My response actually got her to go, "Oh, but I thought you loved these films." And it was just because I was like, "Yeah, it was good." And she was like, "Just good?" And I was like, "Yeah." I think it tried to do too much, and I was left wanting by the end of it, and I didn't get to the hype level I've gotten for the first or second one, and to like speak to the other side of it. These are still phenomenal films, and comparing it against any other action film, this would be like through the roof. But since it is a John Wick film, for me it's a 3.7.
Oh yes.
God damn it. Corey, you'll have fun editing this. We were like guessing. We're like, what is he going to say? 3.5, 3.7?
And I guessed
3.
right on the dot.
Yeah, because to me, it didn't meet the bar that's been set by the other two films. And I think what you're speaking about with the other writers really muddied it up.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
it had a lack of
Yeah.
focus, to be honest.
Yeah.
Keanu's still great. Everyone in it is still great. The choreography is still, beyond what I've come to expect to see in other action films. But to leave with wanting so much with stuff like Common and getting lost within the muddiness of going to Casablanca and then back to New York and then this and that and this and that, I was a little let down.
Sounds like you're talking about a
3.7.
Transformers film. Where it's like 12 different locations in
Yeah.
40 countries.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've said this before on Hellboy, like 8 producers is maybe 7 too many.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and that's what happens with writers too. And it's like, again, probably they have to have something attached to so they can do the TV shows and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
and they introduced a lot of cool stuff that I would have loved to focus on, but instead they introduced a lot of stuff, then didn't focus on any of it.
Yeah.
Now Caitlin.
I don't know if this is gonna surprise you all or not, but
4 point something.
I like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's your score?
And I give it a 4.2 because and again
More
these aren't
eye gouging.
the
right?
no God no, I actually had to turn my head away. I could not watch that. But what the movie was great. I liked so many different aspects of it. The how it was shot, the different characters and who they were and how they interacted with each other. The campiness is the wrong word, but the over the top of things.
I
Like,
actually think
no
campy is a
one-
pretty good.
Campy's perfect.
Yeah,
Campy's
campy's a
perfect?
good word.
Okay.
This isn't
It
the
was-
Met Gala.
It's
You
like-
could say camp.
Like
Okay.
Indiana Jones is camp, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the campiness of this is what made me like it. I think honestly that's what made me
Yeah.
score it higher. Because if it tried to take itself any more seriously than it did, I would have been like,
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they're really
None of
they're-
us would
They're
have. I
presenting
don't think.
tropes and playing with those.
Yeah.
You need
yeah.
that in this.
Yeah.
and just so many creative ways to kill people.
Well, I mean,
so
it's
many.
the whole thing. I would put it in the kind of the area of extreme and hyperbolic. Like even if you watch the trailers, they're just like,
Oh yeah.
like it's John Wick. It's like, well, it's just intense all the way through.
coming to.
Yeah, I think there's that line. There's that line in the first film where he's like, "Send everybody. It won't be enough." And it's one guy.
Yeah.
He's sending his
Yeah.
Well,
entire
it's-
army, and he's like, "Then it'll be even."
Well, yeah, that's what he says in this film. Where
In
it's
this
like,
film too,
it's
he's like,
you got
there's
the entire
gonna be
world.
every able-bodied person is gonna be coming after him, and he's like, well, the odds are even then.
No, it's
Like
even.
that's the stuff I wanted more of in this.
I do want to make a quick shout out. Shout out to all the tattooed women in the
Oh yeah, there was
on the underground.
Yeah,
Because we don't see a lot of
Penguin.
that.
people
And the penguin.
tattooed people. It
Yeah.
wasn't just ladies.
There's one dude. It was the penguin from
Well,
Gotham.
we don't know if that's
yeah.
whatever. Anyway,
But I'm just saying he was the
gender
one dude that was
identities. Who
shown. Yeah.
knows? But
His response, like when he saw the
Deconsecrated.
the deconsecrated, like he was like,
Okay.
Oh shit.
shit.
oh damn.
But I really like that actor a lot. I don't
Yeah.
watch Gotham that religiously, but he's great in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So
I like
Corey
the
is the grump.
adjudicator.
Corey's a grump.
I
I,
am.
was right.
Where's that
I will say this
grump?
though, I will be first in line for John Wick 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah. We're all gonna go see it for
Yeah,
sure.
all you guys watched it before I did. You guys were all texting. I just watched it. I'm like, I haven't watched that shit yet.
But yeah,
Well, I feel complete.
I feel like complete.
Yeah.
I feel angry.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Oh.
Wow.
You know, you can calm yourself down with a nice chamomile tea.
Cum of tea?
Chamomile
I
tea.
heard it too.
Wow.
And
Yep.
you can drink it out of our fancy mugs.
And
Wow. That product placement though.
Tried.
everyone listening at home, just if you want one episode to watch on YouTube, watch this one because Josh is not happy that I was just playing with all of our props.
He's playing with his prop
And
knife.
I was playing
almost.
with the gun.
Oh my god.
A prop
But
gun.
I'm dealing with
Glad I'm not
children.
there, man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Corey would be slapping everyone around.
Yeah.
Corey would actually be in full pads.
Well, everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you spending some time with us talking about John Wick.
Yeah.
We're so angry.
So angry.
But yeah, if you are new to Nerd On, check out our website, nerdon.tv. Has all the information there. Our podcast, we have many now. We have this show, the one that you're listening to, Nerd On the podcast. We have our new weekly show called the Nerd On Update, which is basically us getting nerdy about recent news. And a special part of it is we are answering questions from you. And if you would like to submit questions to that,
And you.
you can email questions@nerdon.tv. And then, but wait, there's more.
Wow.
There's another show that we have that is once a month, the first Monday of every month, Trope Time. It is hosted by our friends Izzy and Nikki. Check it out. But yeah, nerdon.tv has all the infos. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out the video if you're on YouTube. Share it with your friends, your family, or if Corey likes to say your enemies, if you didn't like it. I don't know. I always
you go.
butcher that phrase.
That's fine.
If you didn't like it, share it with your
Share
enemies.
with your friends. If
Yeah.
they don't
There it
like
is.
it, then
So-
share with your enemies. Also,
Someday.
listening helps out. Being a patron helps, but also rating on all of our social medias things like Facebook and Apple Podcasts, all that stuff.
Comment,
helps.
like, subscribe.
Smash that like button
Yeah, smash his face.
and sit
With a
on
horse.
me. Yes.
Sit on your butt.
Anywho.
Sit on me.
Wow. I'm just gonna, we need to end this.
Yep.
Okay.
As always,
Nerd on. Pew, pew, pew.
Ending broadcast.